What's going on, everybody? I'm back with another video. This video is going to be looking at the tactics behind the West Ham versus Chelsea match in the English Premier League, which is a huge match for the top four. And before we start, check out my book if you like tactics. The link is in the description below. It's on rotations. It's really interesting. I think you guys would like it a lot. And check out the membership option as well. They receive exclusive content, tactical information, and a free copy of my book. But let's get right into it now. All those links are in the description below. At Chelsea, they went with their back three as normal. Christensen, Silva, and Rudiger were the three central defenders, with Azpilicueta moving into a wing-back role and Chilwell vice versa on the weak side. Jorginho and Conte were the holding midfielders, with Pulisic and Mason Mount playing through the half space and Timo Werner stretching the team in behind as the lone forward. West Ham also went with their back five, and Noble and Souček were the two holding midfielders, with Lingard, Fornals, and Bowen making up the front three. But these five players were very interchangeable, and they had pretty unique roles defensively and offensively. As we see here, Souček jumping to Conte as Noble stayed deeper, and this was often the relationship. They often played staggered to create access to both of the holding midfielders, as Fornals, the most central attacking player, his cover shadow could only control one of them, so it forced the two West Ham holding midfielders to play a little bit more staggered to make up for this numerical disadvantage, which would then allow a central defender to then jump into the half space to control the fourth midfielder of Chelsea. And in West Ham's high block, they didn't press very much, so it often just moved straight into the mid block. And here we have our 2-3 pressing shape, our 5-2-3 or our 5-3-2, depending on the height of Fornals, which was very thin but changed for the picture. And when the ball would go into the wide central defender, they had a few pressing options. And as we see, the staggering of the two holding midfielders of West Ham was pretty much a constant. Fornals would then jump and press, using his cover shadow to block access to the holding midfielders, and Bowen would continue the press, and they would match up 3 versus 3 in the first line when West Ham would go and press. When Chelsea were in possession, they had a few rotations that pretty much involved the 5 midfield players, or the 4 midfield players, and Timo Werner. One was the wide rotation, where Conte would move into the half space and join Mason Mount to create an overload. The other was Pulisic would fade into the wide area, and Chilwell would become inverted. And these rotations were used very sparingly and at different moments in the match. The last of which is when Fornals would jump to Conte, Mason Mount, Pulisic would threaten in behind, and Timo Werner would check back towards the ball, creating the opportunity for a third man movement. When West Ham was forced deeper into their low block, they often defended with their back five and their 3 central defenders being much more narrow than their wingbacks, and Souček and Noble were then the clear holding midfielders, with Lingard and Bowen often dropping as wide midfielders but staying slightly higher much of the time. This gave Mount and Pulisic space between the lines to operate in, even though they didn't fully take advantage of this all the way, as I felt there was more opportunity for them to isolate the wingbacks and then find Mount or Pulisic in behind between the lines. But the 3 central defenders did a very good job of shifting and maintaining their connections between each other and maintaining their numerical superiority in their last line of defense, as well as at times Chelsea's movement became flat and less dynamic, with less intention behind it. Now for West Ham in possession, they built from the back with 3 central defenders, 2 holding midfielders, and the width being controlled by the wingback. Lingard would often fade into the wide area as Fredericks would move further up the field to then access the vacated space by the advancing wingback when they were in possession. Fornals would also vary his height, threatening in behind, allowing Lingard more space in behind as he pins 2 of the 3 central defenders. Bowen, often with his pace, threatened in behind as well, leaving Fornals to access the half space and giving them a lot of fluidity in possession, but West Ham played very direct, so oftentimes these rotations were more isolated events, and their verticality in the team was set up for more direct play and set up for second balls as well. So that's the analysis, guys. I'm trying something new, just a little bit quicker video today, seeing if you guys like it better, and I'll see you in the next one.